Here is every single Warzone map ranked from worst to best. At number 10, the worst map in my opinion goes to Caldera. There's a lot of reasons why this map is so terrible. For starters, this map is way too big, with the fact being that this map is also very open, making the map function terribly during rotations. On top of that, this map introduced planes, which was a god-awful idea. These planes single-handedly broke the game and made the game very unfun to play. This map was introduced in December 2021 and was eventually removed during September 2023, putting an end to this god-awful map. The next map going onto our list is Area 99. Area 99 is by far the worst Resurgence map they have released into Warzone. The many issues with this map is that the aesthetic and color on this map were absolutely terrible. Going with a rusty sand theme on this map was not it at all. Also, not to mention, the POIs on this map were probably the worst we've ever seen. The hate of this map got so bad to the point where the developers literally removed this map in its entirety following the Season 3 update, making this map only last for 2 seasons in Black Ops 6 Warzone. I just feel like this map was just so lazy by the developers and they did not try with this map at all. This map was introduced in November 2024 and was removed during April of 2025, putting down the worst Resurgence map we've ever seen. At the next spot on our list, we have Mazra. Mazra was the first big map with the transition from Warzone 1 to Warzone 2, and obviously Warzone 2 was a massively hated game at the time, but I do feel like Mazra as a map wasn't that bad. Some would argue that it's a good map on a bad game. The flow on this map wasn't too bad, and the layout on this map was actually pretty good in my opinion. I do feel like the POIs on this map could have been a lot better, but they weren't terrible. However, there's still issues with this map, being the aesthetic and looks on this map weren't really the best with the sandy sort of feeling on this map. Mazra was introduced in November 2022 and was eventually removed December 2023 as part of the MW3 Season 1 update. Which brings us to the next spot on our list, being Urzikstan. Urzikstan was the first big map for MW3 Warzone and was released alongside a Resurgence game mode on the same map, which was pretty decent. The flow and the layout on this map were pretty good and offer a lot of variety. However, I wish the POIs were more memorable. They kind of just seemed boring with no character, but they weren't bad. Ranked play on this map was probably one of the best we've seen for any big map. The only issue with this map people say is the low player count, being only 120 players, which often creates slow games. But overall, this map is pretty solid. Urzikstan was introduced in December 2023 and was removed in April of 2025. The next map on our list goes to Ashika Island. Now, before you guys go attack me in the comments, let me explain. I think Ashika Island is a good map, but however, I don't think it's better than our next following maps on the list. The layout and overall flow on Ashika Island is pretty good. However, there's one big problem with this map, that being the lack of colors on this map. I'm pretty sure everyone can agree within the community that Call of Duty missed the mark so much here by not adding any sort of vibrance to the map. They went with the whole Japanese theme on this map with the blossom trees and the castle POI, which is absolutely fire, but missed the mark by not adding any sort of color. Overall, this map is still really good, but could have been way higher on the list if it reached its full potential. Ashika Island was introduced in February 2023, but later removed around May of 2024. I wouldn't mind seeing this map once return again in the rotation for Warzone. The next map going on our list is the new addition of Warzone, that being Haven's Hollow. After playing Haven's Hollow myself since the BO7 integration to Warzone, I can say that Haven's Hollow is overall a good map. Let's start with the positives of this map. The colors on this map are probably one of the best we've seen in a while. It's vibrant and bright just like how most maps should have been. The POIs on this map are actually pretty good. The layout and flow on this map are also really solid. Taking one of the zombies maps from Black Ops 6, that being Liberty Falls, and turning it into a Resurgence map is actually so fire. Although it's not an original concept whatsoever, but I feel like it executed pretty well. Also, not to mention the little details and Easter eggs on this map are also really fire. Having an Easter egg that can completely change the skybox and atmosphere on this map is so cool in my opinion. I don't think Call of Duty has ever really done this before as far as I know, but you guys let me know down in the comments if they have. Although this map is really good, there's one big issue with this map. Third parties on this map are a really big issue. You could pretty much access any roof on the map without being a challenge, and that could create some frustrating moments. The amount of times I've died to people sitting on roofs on this map is a little concerning. I feel like if they restricted some of the roofs you can't go on this map, it would flow much better and create less more third parties. Haven's Hollow was introduced earlier this month in December as part of the Black Ops 7 Season 1 update, and is still in the game to this day. I hope they can still keep this map in the future and add more new stuff to it. At the next spot on our list, we have Fortune's Keep. Fortune's Keep was the second Resurgence map to come out in Warzone. First being introduced in Warzone 1 alongside Rebirth Island, Fortune's Keep will soon become a fan favorite among the community, and people really enjoyed this map, including myself. This map had a good layout and flowed pretty good. The POIs were also really good, like Winery and Town, just to mention a few, and the color and lighting on this map were very good as well. Only after a few months of this map first being out, it was removed during the entirety of Warzone 2, and didn't see the return all the way until Warzone 3. When this map returned to Warzone 3, people loved it, including myself. They redid some of the buildings and made them look more modern, and added new POIs on the map. But there was one small problem about this map. They decided to make a new POI called Ground Zero, where the middle of the map was completely destroyed and had a bunch of holes and trenches, including a bunker. But it was safe to say I was not the biggest fan of the change, because the campers would just roam around this area and completely catch you off guard, which was not very fun. But besides that, this map also has some very cool Easter eggs, like getting the 2 wonder weapons from zombies, that being the Wonder Waffle and the Ray Gun, which is such a cool idea. I don't know why they haven't tried something like this again. Not to mention, ranked play on this map was probably the best ranked play experience we've seen on any map before. This map was built very good for ranked and the community very much enjoyed it. Overall, this map was pretty good and had a lot to offer. They plan to re-add this map back into the game in 2026, so we'll see how that goes, and I'm pretty excited for it. Alright guys, we're at the top 3 spots. If you've been enjoying this video, feel free to drop a like and subscribe down below. We're getting so close to 20,000 subscribers, so if we can reach that goal, that would be amazing. I also have my own community Discord server, so if you guys want to chat or play with me, feel free to join my Discord server, link in the description down below. The next map going on our list is going to Verdansk, the map that started it all for WarZone, that being Verdansk. First being introduced in March 2020 during the pandemic, this map soon became a fan favorite for most people, arguably saying this is the best battle royale map of all time, and rightfully so. This map is responsible for creating countless memories and moments that we will never forget. The layout and the flow on this map are amazing. The POIs on this map were so good and memorable. You got Superstore, Airport, Boneyard, Train Station, and many more POIs that were just amazing. However, during April 2021, Verdansk will see a different change to the map with the introduction of Verdansk 84, being set in the year of 1984, with new POIs and elements being added to the game, with different graphic changes. Verdansk then would get removed in December 2021, and didn't see return all the way until April 2025 during the Black Ops 6 Season 3 update. I do feel like whenever Verdansk made a return to Black Ops 6, it didn't play as well like before, but that necessarily doesn't mean it's bad. It could because my attention span got shorter over the years or something, but that's besides the point. Verdansk is an overall good map and personally my favorite battle royale map. The next spot on our list might come as a surprise for most of you, but it's going to Vondel. Vondel was first introduced in June 2023 as part of the WarZone 2 Season 4 update, then was later added to WarZone 3 also. Vondel will soon become one of many people's favorite Resurgence maps, including myself. This map had a lot going for it with its good flow plus rotation on this map, and pretty good POIs like Market, Police Station, and Stadium, just to name a few. But the main selling point with this map is its high player count being 70 players. This created for some very active lobbies refusing to die and the highest kill gains you could possibly have. And that's what I love about this map. There's never really a point of time where the lobby seems empty and dead. There's always some action going on in the map, and that's how Resurgence maps should be. This created for some of the most entertaining matches you could have. Vondel was the biggest Resurgence map ever added into WarZone, which will sometimes get its own battle royale players, which also flow pretty well. Not to mention the events on this map were also pretty good, like the Vondel event, where they remade the entire map in this dark, spooky Halloween theme, and they did an amazing job with this event, and we need to see more of this happen for future maps, including the ones we have right now in WarZone. Overall, Vondel is a very good map and definitely one of my favorite maps that's been added to WarZone. And finally, at the final spot, the best map ever added to WarZone is Rebirth Island. Rebirth Island was the first ever Resurgence map to be added to WarZone, first being introduced in December 2020 with the Black Ops Cold War Season 1 update, and when this map first dropped, it became an instant hit for most people. This map will instantly become mine and many others' favorite WarZone map that's ever been released. Rebirth Island had everything you could ask for. Amazing balance, flow, and pacing, amazing memorable POIs like Prison, Headquarters, Control Center, Factory, and many other POIs were all amazing. The colors and lighting on this map were also very good as well. Similar to Vondel, Rebirth Island was constantly active with players and never felt like the lobbies were dead. But except Rebirth Island does it way better in my opinion. Rebirth then was removed for the entirety of WarZone 2's lifecycle, and the community was begging for it to make a return. Then during April 2024, Rebirth Island would make a return to WarZone, and this was potentially the greatest update Call of Duty has ever made. This map is responsible for creating the Resurgence mode, which is the only mode some people will play nowadays, and I am one of those people. The events on this map were probably the best we've ever seen, from Rebirth being completely at night during the event where Verdansk was getting nuked, which fun fact introduced one of the most iconic locations to this date, that being Control Center replacing construction site. I have no idea why they haven't made WarZone at nighttime again. I mean, I guess they kinda did with the recent Halloween update, but like, come on bro. That shit is ass. And it was in casuals, it wasn't even in the main game mode. Purgatory was also one of the coolest events Warzone's ever added during the WarZone 3 Halloween update. This game mode was basically a sandbox experience where you could pretty much do whatever you want, from practicing your aim to your YY TikTok movement, and created some Warzone TikTok edits, which was really big at the time during this event. I hope Warzone can re-add this game mode back into the game or create something similar to this, as it was pretty fun to mess around in. And there's many other events I haven't mentioned, but you guys can leave a comment down below which event was your favorite during this map. Warzone plans to add snow to the map and new POIs next season, which I have no idea why they couldn't just added snow this season during December for Christmas, but you know, who am I the one to judge? But for right now, Rebirth Island, we have some snowmen with some Christmas lights and a big Christmas tree in the front of prison with presents you can't even open. Thanks, Santa. But I'm glad Rebirth Island is finally getting updates and changes to the map, as it's been the same map for like 5 years straight, and that's the only problem I have with this map. It can get very repetitive at times, but it's not Rebirth's fault. Also, not to mention, I feel like the overall interest for Battle Royale has gone down, and Resurgence has definitely become the focus for Warzone within the last couple years. Overall, Rebirth Island is the greatest map they ever added into Warzone. But what do you guys think? What's your favorite and least favorite Warzone maps? Go ahead and leave your ranking down below. And if you guys enjoyed this video, you guys will probably like the one on your screen right now, so go ahead and check it out.